This was the ladies' exercise yard of Newgate Prison, and just next to me was the Newgate hanging shed, where many, many criminals ended their lives. One of the last was Amelia Dyer, the Reading baby farmer. Now, baby farming was actually an honourable trade. You see, if you were a woman who had a child and you couldn't look after it, well, you might send it to a baby farmer, somebody who, for a fee, would look after it and keep it in the manner to which you wanted it to be accustomed. Unfortunately, that was not without risk. Down on the banks of the Fleet, one baby farmer had a cholera outbreak that killed 35 of her children. Another went mad and smothered two with a sack of grain. However, there were no worse than Amelia Dyer. Dyer had no less than 100 children in her care at one point. Except, of course, until they inspected, when they found less than 20. You see, it turned out that whenever Amelia Dyer took a new child, she would take one of the others and smother them or drown them and throw them into the Thames. Needless to say, she was charged with a hideous count of multiple murder and interred here at Newgate Prison to await her execution. It was here that the chief warden, one Mr. Scott, found her to be strange, unusually obsequious. He said that no matter how calm her face was, her hands would always be working and ripping at the hem of her dress, as if they were totally out of her control. Just before she was sent to be hanged, she looked up at Scott and smiled at him and said, "I'll see you again, sir. I'll see you again." And she did. The following Christmas, the warders were sitting in their wardroom enjoying a Christmas tipple when out of the corner of his eye, Scott saw a figure down here by the hanging shed. He looked down and he realised it was Amelia Dyer. He ran down the stairs. He burst out into the yard, finding nothing except one embroidered handkerchief with the letters A.D. And that was not the last time that Scott saw her. You see, just before this whole place was demolished, Scott was persuaded to pose for a photograph, one of the earliest photographs outside the hanging shed. And when he did pose, when the photograph was developed, they realized that behind him, as if resting her chin upon his shoulder, there was the white, oval face of Amelia Dyer, the Reading baby farmer.